Polynomials are algebraic expressions that are sums and/or differences of monomials. A monomial is an expression of the form ax to the n, where a is a real number, x is a variable, and n is an integer greater or equal 0. So, for example, 2x cubed square root of 5 x or 2/3 are all monomials. The number a is called the coefficient of the monomial, and the power of x is called the degree of the monomial. Some polynomials have special names, like binomial is the sum of two monomials. So, for example, 2x cubed plus 1/4 is a binomial. A trinomial is the sum and/or difference of three monomials. So, for example, I can write negative 3x to the 5th plus 2x squared plus 1. Polynomials are usually written in the standard form, which means that the monomials are arranged in the decreasing order of exponents of the variable. The most general formula for the polynomial is given right here. We have the sum of the monomials. The coefficients of monomials are a sub n minus 1, a sub n minus 2, and so on, and the powers of x are decreasing. The numbers a sub n minus 1, and so on are called the coefficients of the polynomial. The term with the highest power of x is called the leading term, and its coefficient is called the leading coefficient. The highest power of x is called the degree of the polynomial. With polynomials come what we call the like terms, and like terms are monomial with the same variable raised to the same power. So, for example, 2x cubed and square root of 5x cubed. Variable has to be the same, and the exponent of the variable has to be the same. Let's look at an example where we want to determine whether the expression is a polynomial. So the first one is negative 2x cubed minus 4x plus 5. If you look at this expression, we have three terms: negative 2x cubed, we have negative 4x and plus 5. All of them are monomials. We are adding those monomials, therefore this is a polynomial. Now, if I'm looking for the degree of that polynomial, I'm looking for the highest exponent of the variable, and here that highest exponent is 3. The leading term is the term with the x to the highest exponent, so the leading term is negative 2x cubed. Leading coefficient is the coefficient of the leading term, so the number that comes with the leading term is negative 2. Now, as for the coefficients, we are looking for the numbers that stand to x to some to the powers in the decreasing order. So my polynomial can be rewritten as negative 2x cubed. The next term should be in that order, should have x squared, but there is no x squared in the expression, so that means that that term comes with the coefficient 0. The next term is the term with the x, so it's negative 4x, and then x to the 0, which is 5. So the coefficients are the numbers that stand in front of the x's, and therefore the coefficients are negative 2, 0, negative 4, and 5. Okay, as for the second expression, is this a polynomial? We can see that the second term right here contains the variable x to the power negative 1. The exponent here is less than 0, and this is not allowed in a polynomial, therefore this expression is not a polynomial.